Corrected full text. The bell of Milan Cathedral had just struck 3. Sophia Rossi stood in the shadow of a square cafe, and suddenly, the lenses of her Chanel sunglasses reflected a harsh glow, not the setting sun, but the sapphire necklace around Caroline's neck. At the clasp, there was still a faint scratch from the champagne flute she'd smashed last year. It was the keepsake her mother had clutched in her hand until her last breath, and just last month, Nicholas had said, "I sent it for maintenance." More piercing than the light was the conversation drifting out from behind the revolving door. "I had my lawyer revise the winery share transfer document." Nicholas's voice was thick with champagne fumes. "Just say Sophia gave it as a voluntary gift. With that mind of hers, she might not even read the content before signing." Caroline's laugh sounded like shattered glass. "What about her mother's jewelry? I want that sapphire necklace turned into a bracelet." Sophia's nails dug into her leather gloves instantly. She didn't even feel the blood seeping through the cotton lining. For the third time, her driver leaned out. "Madam, the car is over there." She suddenly raised her hand, her knuckles wet inside the revolving door. Caroline was wearing an enamel bracelet on her wrist. It was the 10th wedding anniversary gift Sophia had given Nicholas, and back then, he said, "I'll pass this down to our future daughter." No build-up, no buffer. She watched as her husband helped the supermodel adjust her coat, his fingers brushing the waist that, just last night, he called filled with love. When the temple of her sunglasses snapped in her palm, she suddenly remembered the anonymous email she'd received 3 days earlier. Attached were surveillance screenshots from a Vienna hotel, and in Nicholas's arms was a woman wearing the same fisherman's hat as Caroline. So it wasn't a coincidence, it was premeditated. She fished a voice recorder out of her bag. Earlier, while pretending to make a call in the hotel lobby, she'd already recorded the entire conversation where they discussed how to leave Sophia with nothing. As her nail grazed the recorder's button, she suddenly laughed. Passers-by hurried away from this woman in a haute couture suit, clutching a broken pair of sunglasses and a voice recorder. No one knew she'd just caught her husband cheating with a supermodel, and heard every detail of the plan to cheat her. When Sophia got into the car, the leather seat was stained with the blood from her palm, but she didn't ask the driver for a tissue. "Take me to the villa." Her voice was as cold as ice. "Tell the lawyer to be here by 9, and have the butler bring the key to Nicholas's study safe." The driver glanced at her in the rearview mirror. This woman, who usually frowned if her coffee was even a degree off, was now using the broken temple of her sunglasses to scratch the words into the car window. The Milan streetscape blurred past the window, and she thought of the auction last month. Hans had sat in the front row with his new lover, and the sapphire ring on the woman's ring finger was exactly the piece Sophia had softened and left him with when they divorced. Back then, she comforted herself, "It's all in the past." Now she understood. A man's infidelity was never an accident. He'd seen that she always compromised because she held onto the past. "Madam, we're here." The driver's voice pulled her out of her thoughts. The villa's front door was wide open, and a maid was carrying Nicholas's suit out to iron it. There was still a strand of blonde hair on the collar, the same shade as Caroline's. Sophia didn't go inside. Instead, she sat down on the marble steps at the entrance, pulled out her phone, and scrolled to the text she'd received that morning. It was from a Corriere della Sera reporter, asking, "Is it confirmed that Mr. Costa was traveling with Caroline in Vienna?" At the time, she'd replied, "Stop spreading rumors." Now it seemed the reporter had been more informed than she, his wife, was. The butler came running with the safe key, his hands trembling. "Madam, the lawyer said there's traffic. He might be 10 minutes late. Tell him to hurry." Sophia took the key, her fingertips brushing the cold metal. "I'm afraid I won't have the patience to listen to his nonsense later." The safe in the study was hidden behind the bookshelf, and the password was her birthday. When she opened it, she froze. There were no jewels, no shared documents, only a stack of photos. Nicholas and Caroline posing together at the winery, with the grape arbor she'd planted with her own hands in the background. And there was an even more piercing one, Caroline wearing her Dior haute couture dress, standing on their wedding bed, holding her bridal veil in her hand. At the very bottom was a document, the winery share transfer agreement. Caroline's name was already signed in the transferee section, while the transferor section was left blank. Next to it was a fountain pen she used regularly. Clearly, they'd been waiting for her to sign. Sophia picked up the pen, and as its tip hovered over the blank space, she suddenly laughed. She stuffed the agreement into her bag, then pulled a photo album off the bookshelf filled with photos of her and Nicholas. She tore out the pages one by one and threw them into the fireplace nearby. The flames licked at the photos, and Nicholas's smile slowly curled and blackened. She thought of last year's film festival, when Nicholas had said she looked like a doll in a jewelry box in that Dior dress. Now she realized he only ever liked women he could keep in a box and manipulate as he pleased. Footsteps came from the stairs. It was the maid. "Madam, the bathwater is ready. Shall I draw it for you now?" Sophia turned off the fireplace and walked toward the bathroom. The red wine in the bathtub was still steaming. She poured an entire bottle of sedatives into it, and the pills dissolved in the wine like melting pearls. But just as her hand was about to touch the water, she froze. The full-length mirror reflected the bruise on her collarbone. Last night, Nicholas had called it a mark of passion. Now it was clear, it had just been the excitement he'd taken out on her after cheating with Caroline. She suddenly threw the sedative bottle into the trash. The bottle hit the tile floor with a shrill clatter. "Empty the water," she called out to the hallway, "and bring me a clean bathrobe." When the maid came in, she saw Sophia wiping off her lipstick with a cotton pad, pressing so hard that her lips were red. The red on the cotton pad looked as sharp as blood. "Ms. Rossi." The butler coughed softly outside the door. "The Corriere della Sera reporter is still waiting in the living room. He says he must see you. Tell him to leave." Sophia's voice came through the cotton pad. "Tomorrow he can write whatever he wants. Anyway, the news about Nicholas and Caroline will end up on the front page sooner or later." But the butler's voice was trembling with tears. "It's too late. Le Figaro in Paris just released the digital version." Sophia paused, her hand still holding the cotton pad. She grabbed her phone and opened the link. The photo under the headline showed Nicholas's hand on Caroline's hip, with the box at the Vienna State Opera in the background. It was the very box she booked specially for him as a surprise for his birthday last year. Beneath the photo was a caption, "Costa marriage on the rocks, supermodel Caroline by his side." Sophia suddenly remembered what Pierre had said when they divorced. "You can afford the most expensive box, but you can't buy someone to clap for you when the curtain falls." At the time, she thought Pierre was just bitter. Now she understood. She spent the money, only to do the work for someone else. The fax machine in the living room beeped. The butler ran to get it, and when he came back, his hands were shaking. "It's from the lawyer. He says Nicholas has already contacted him and wants to divide the property early." Sophia took the fax paper. It listed the things Nicholas wanted: the winery, the Paris apartment, and the collection of jewelry her mother had left her. As she looked at the word jewelry, she suddenly thought of the sapphire necklace around Caroline's neck. So he'd already given the pieces to his lover. She crumpled the fax paper into a ball and threw it into the fireplace. As the flames turned the paper into ash, the phone rang. The caller ID showed Nicholas. She stared at the screen for 3 seconds, then answered. "Sophie." Nicholas's voice was slurred with alcohol, and a little flustered. "You have to listen to me explain. Caroline and I were just..." "Spare me," Sophia cut him off, her eyes fixed on the dancing flames in the fireplace. "In the third compartment of your study safe, there's a signed divorce agreement." There was a moment of silence on the other end, then the sound of glass shattering. "You've been ready for this all along. Since last month, when you canceled our anniversary dinner." Her voice was calm. "You said you were meeting a client, but you were actually in Vienna with Caroline, weren't you?" The breathing on the other end grew rapid, and Sophia could picture Nicholas's flustered face. "Sophie, can we talk?" "There's nothing to talk about." She hung up. She realized she was staring at the grout between the bathroom tiles just like the day she found out about Hans's infidelity. Back then, she also counted the grout lines to stop her hands from shaking. The motion sensor lights in the walk-in closet turned on one by one. She ran her fingers mechanically over the haute couture dresses, and when her fingertips touched that Dior dress, she stopped. At last year's film festival, Nicholas had even helped her adjust the hem on the red carpet, saying, "Only you can wear this dress." But now, she could almost see Caroline wearing it, taking photos on their wedding bed. She grabbed a pair of scissors and cut into the dress without hesitation. The sound of tearing silk startled the maid. When the maid rushed in and saw the dress in tatters, she screamed, "Oh my God. Madam, that's a limited edition, only 3 exist in the world. Burn it." Sophia threw the scraps into the trash, "And these too." She pointed to 12 pairs of Jimmy Choos in the shoe cabinet, including the pair she'd worn at her wedding. "Throw them all into the incinerator." The maid didn't dare argue. She picked up the scraps and the shoes and left. Standing in the empty closet, Sophia suddenly felt like these things that had once made her proud were nothing but chains man had used to bind her. Footsteps came from the stairs. It was the lawyer. "Ms. Rossi, He pushed up his glasses. "I've brought the divorce agreement you asked for. Let's hold off on the divorce for now." Sophia sat down on the sofa and pointed to the documents on the table. "I want to revise my will." The lawyer froze. He picked up the documents and looked at them. "Are you sure you want to leave the winery to Santa Maria Monastery? That's worth 230 million francs. I know," she cut him off, pulling an official seal out of her bag. "I also want to auction off all the jewelry my mother left me, and donate all the proceeds to the monastery." The lawyer's pen paused on the paper. "Ms. Rossi, do you want to think about this again? These assets?" "No need to think." Sophia twisted open her lipstick and signed her name at the end of the document. The lipstick suddenly snapped, and the red stick fell onto the paper, like a drop of blood. She stared at that drop of red, and suddenly remembered what her mother had said on her deathbed. "Jewels are dead. People's hearts are alive. Don't let dead things trap a living heart." At 3 a.m., Sophia stood on the terrace, overlooking the Milan night. The wind was a little cool, so she wrapped her bathrobe tighter around herself and touched the ring mark on her ring finger. This was the 5th time. Every marriage was like a matryoshka doll. Peel off one layer, and another empty cavity appeared. In the end, there was nothing inside. Her phone screen suddenly lit up. It was a push notification from Vanity Fair. "Exclusive, Costa marriage falls apart." The photo under the headline showed Nicholas with his hand on Caroline's hip. The Vienna State Opera box in the background, the very box she booked as a birthday surprise for him last year. Below the photo was a caption, "Costa marriage on the rocks, supermodel Caroline by his side." Sophia suddenly recalled Pierre's words when they divorced. "You can afford the priciest box, but you can't buy someone to clap for you when the curtain falls." Back then, she thought he was just bitter. Now she understood she'd spent the money, only to play the fool for someone else. The fax machine in the living room buzzed. The butler rushed to fetch the paper, his hands still shaking when he returned. "It's from the lawyer. He says Nicholas has contacted him, wanting to split the assets early." Sophia took the fax. It listed Nicholas's demands: the winery, the Paris apartment, and the jewelry her mother had left her. When her eyes landed on jewelry, she thought of the sapphire necklace around Caroline's neck. He'd already given her mother's things to his lover. She crumpled the fax into a ball and tossed it into the fireplace. As the flames turned it to ash, the phone rang. The caller ID read Nicholas. She stared at the screen for 3 seconds before answering. "Sophie." His voice was drunk and flustered. "You have to let me explain. Caroline and I were just..." "Spare it." Sophia cut him off, her gaze fixed on the fireplace flames. "In the third shelf of your study safe, there's a signed divorce agreement." Silence hung on the line, then the crash of glass. "You've been planning this all along. Since last month, when you cancelled our anniversary dinner." Her voice was steady. "You said you were meeting a client, but you were in Vienna with Caroline. Right?" Breathing on the other end grew ragged. Sophia could picture his panic. "Sophie, can we talk?" "Nothing to talk about." She hung up. She found herself staring at the bathroom towel grout just like the day she'd caught Hans cheating. Back then, she counted grout lines to stop her hands from shaking too. The walk-in closet's motion lights flickered on. She ran her fingers over the haute couture dresses, pausing at the Dior one. Last year's film festival, Nicholas had adjusted its hem on the red carpet, saying, "Only you can wear this." Now she could almost see Caroline in it, posing on their wedding bed. She grabbed scissors and sliced the dress. The tearing silk shocked the maid, who rushed in screaming, "Madam, that's a limited edition, only 3 in the world. Burn it." Sophia tossed the scraps into the trash. "And this?" She pointed to 12 Jimmy Choos in the cabinet, including her wedding pair, dumped them all in the incinerator. The maid obeyed, carrying the scraps away. In the empty closet, Sophia felt like these once pressed things were just chains men used to bind her. Footsteps approached. The lawyer. "Ms. Rossi." He adjusted his glasses. "I have the divorce agreement." "Hold the divorce," Sophia said, on the sofa, nodding at the papers. "I want to revise my will." The lawyer froze, scanning the documents. "You're leaving the winery to Santa Maria Monastery. That's worth 230 million francs. "I know." She pulled a seal from her bag. "Auction my mother's jewelry to donate all proceeds to the monastery." The lawyer hesitated. "Ms. Rossi, reconsider. These assets." "No need." Sophia twisted open her lipstick and signed. The lipstick snapped, red wax pooling on the paper like blood. She stared at it, remembering her mother's last words. "Jewels are dead, hearts are alive. Don't let dead things cage a living heart." At 3 a.m., Sophia stood on the terrace, Milan spread below. The wind chilled her, so she wrapped her robe tight, touching the ring mark on her finger. This was the 5th time. Marriages were matryoshka dolls. Peel one layer, find another empty shell. Nothing left inside. Her phone lit up. A Vanity Fair alert exclusive. Costa marriage collapses. The headline photo showed Nicholas's hand on Caroline's hip. The Vienna Opera box behind them, the same one she'd booked for his birthday surprise. The caption, Costa marriage troubles, supermodel Caroline in tow. Pierre's divorce words echoed, you can buy the best box, but not a single clap at curtain call. She thought him bitter then, now she knew she'd paid to stage someone else's show. The fax machine buzzed again. The butler returned, trembling. The lawyer says Nicholas wants to split assets early. Sophia took the list, winery, Paris apartment, her mother's jewelry. She thought of Caroline's sapphire necklace. He'd already given it away. She crumpled the fax into the fire. The phone rang. Nicholas. She answered after 3 rings. Sophie. Let me explain. Caroline and I. Save it, she said, watching the flames. 3rd shelf of your safe, signed divorce papers. Glass shattered on his end. You planned this. Since you skipped our anniversary, she said, you lied about a client. You were in Vienna with her. He panted. Can we talk? No, she hung up. She stared at the bathroom grate just like with Hans. Counting lines to stop shaking. Closet lights turned on. She touched the Dior dress. Last year's festival, Nicholas had said, only you can wear this. Now she saw Caroline in it, on their bed. She grabbed scissors, slicing the silk. The maid screamed, it's limited edition. Burn it, Sophia said, pointing to her wedding Jimmy Choos, incinerate all of them. The maid laughed. Sophia felt free. These things were just chains. The lawyer arrived, the divorce papers. First, revise my will, she said, leave the winery to Santa Maria Monastery. Auction my mother's jewelry, donate the money. The lawyer hesitated. Do it, she said, signing with lipstick that snapped, red like blood. Her mother's voice, don't let jewels cage your heart. Dawn broke. The butler brought gossip magazines. Headlines called her a foolish rich widow. She threw them, spotting a Berliner issue, Austrian actor Marcus Hoffmann, in a black suit with plain silver cufflinks. The lawyer had mentioned Marcus funding Santa Maria Monastery. Prepare the car, she said, I'm going to Berlin. Let the lawyer handle the divorce. Clouds outside the plane window looked like torn wedding veils. Sophia stared at her reflection, the rim marked purple in the dawn. The stewardess offered champagne. Why do men cheat? She asked. The stewardess nearly spilled it. Maybe, they're stupid. No, Sophia drank it down, cold fire in her throat, because they know I'll pay. Hans got half my assets when he cheated. Pierre got winery shares. Nicholas plotted, and I already had divorce papers ready. I always compromise. I always pay for their mistakes. When the plane landed in Berlin, she took a taxi to the film palace. The red carpet still smelled of petals and glitter, like scattered jewels. She paused at the VIP entrance, staring at her Patek Philippe Nicholas's birthday gift, diamonds blinding in the sun, as meaningless as the zeros on the divorce papers. Ms. Rossi. The festival director hurried over, smiling, you're here. We didn't know. Where's Marcus Hoffmann? She cut him off, nails digging into her palm's old wound, fresh from smashing magazines that morning. The director froze. Mr. Hoffmann's in the ballroom. He has a dinner tonight. Sophia walked in. Crystal chandeliers dazzled. She sat in a corner, drinking champagne. On her 7th glass, she saw him. Marcus, in a corner, politely refusing a producer's toast, silver cufflinks with a tiny L glowing softly among diamond watches. She carried her glass over, slamming her checkbook on the gilded table. The room fell quiet. Mr. Hoffmann, she said, I'm booking your entire schedule next year. Marcus lifted his grey-blue eyes, setting down his glass. His fork clicked on the plate. You had too much to drink. 20 million francs, she tore off a check, adding a zero, or winery shares. I can transfer them. Guests snickered, pulling out phones. Marcus wiped his fingers slowly with a napkin, calm, distant, just like Pierre when he signed the divorce papers. Ms. Rossi, his voice was soft but clear, do you know how much the Mona Lisa is worth? Sophia's earrings clinked against her glass. Last auction estimate was 800 million francs. Why? Then tell me, Marcus leaned in, pine cologne and champagne brushing her cheek. How much does a light left on at 3 a.m. cost? The check slipped from her fingers. When Marcus stood, his chair hit her bare shoulder, leaving a red mark exactly like the bruise Nicholas had left on her collarbone last night. Wait. She grabbed his wrist. touching the L on his cufflink. Who are you to refuse me? My money's cleaner than anyone's. Marcus pulled away, nodding at her watch. That's from Mr. Costa, isn't it? He put it on you at last year's film festival. Sophia's face went white. He knew. Your first husband, Pierre, made a police report in Geneva on September 14, 1983, Marcus continued, voice still soft. You sat on the floor signing divorce papers, your mascara smashed into black moons in the tile grot. Lipstick stained her teeth. She remembered the grey tiles, the moon-shaped smudge. She thought no one noticed. How did you? Her voice shook. I was a temp translator there. Marcus pulled a faded Geneva police badge from his pocket, setting it down. They gave it to me as a souvenir. Sophia stared at it. He'd known her past all along. A waiter knocked over the salt shaker, salt spilling on the check. Marcus bent to pick it up, his finger brushing her rim. Mark electric, warm. Will these francs buy you a good night's sleep? He asked, eyes on her red-rimmed eyes. A waltz started. Guests danced. Sophia watched Marcus walk to the terrace, spotting a half-hidden Lucerne orphanage annual report in his back pocket, the same one she'd read that morning, the one she'd chosen for her jewelry donation. He cared about the same orphanage. More champagne? The waiter asked. Sophia pulled off her diamond ring, dropping it into the glass. It spun like a weeping eye. Black coffee. No sugar, she said, tiredness seeping into her voice. In the glass's reflection, she saw her 20-year-old self, white dress, smiling at the Milan Cathedral with Pierre, thinking marriage was an endless champagne flute. Now she knew, marriage was a decanter, pouring out only dregs, no fragrance left. Marcus lit a cigarette on the terrace, smoke drifting in the wind. Sophia took it from him, inhaling deeply. Nicotine made her cough, tears streaming. You investigated me. Marcus brushed her tears with his thumb, gentle. Last year's charity gala, when you donated to Lucerne orphanage, you had the same look, he said, smiling even though you were hurting. His words were soft, but they landed in her heart, like feathers on a wound. She noticed a scar on his left pinky, exactly where her father had been cut by a wine bottle. Her father had died when she was 6, memories fuzzy, but the scar brought back images of him carrying her through vineyards. Why refuse me? She whispered, my money's clean. I never used it to trick anyone. Marcus stubbed out the cigarette in the ice bucket, ice hissing. Your 5th husband is in a Vienna hotel with a supermodel right now, and here you are, buying my time with a check. What's the difference between you and them? He smiled helplessly. You're like a drunk at a roulette table. You lost all your chips, but you double down, thinking you'll win. Fireworks exploded in the distance. Festival celebrations. Sophia's diamond necklace glowed like a cold chain. She tore it off, gems clattering on the terrace, some rolling into drains, others wedged in grot. Pick them up. She trembled. You want charity? These gems can feed the orphanage kids for years. Marcus knelt, sweeping them into the drain. Nuns taught me charity needs respect, he said, a sapphire stuck in his shoe exactly like the one Hansa's lover had worn. You're not giving, you're trading. It's no different from Nicholas giving Caroline the winery for her company. Sophia's heel twisted. Marcus caught her elbow. She smelled beeswax on his collar, just like the corridors of Lucerne Monastery, where nuns polished pews daily. What do you really want to buy? He asked, eyes seeing through her mask. Laughter drifted from the ballroom. The producer mimicked her check slinging. Sophia's ears burned. She still wore Nicholas's emerald earrings, her last link to him. Marcus took off his silver cufflink, pressing it into her palm. The L dug into her skin. At least this won't be stolen by a lover, he said. My sister Lillian left it to me. She died of leukemia when she was 15. Sophia closed her hand. She remembered the Lucerne orphanage report, an article about a girl named Lillian who'd lived there 5 years, loving gentians most. Moonlight gilded Marcus's coat as he left. Sophia clutched the cufflink, its edges cutting her palm, blood beading. She suddenly understood she'd never chased money or marriage. She chased unbetrayed warmth, her grandmother's lullaby, the monastery's beeswax, the L on Marcus's cufflink. Simple. Real. The next morning, Sophia went to Van Cleef pals instead of returning to Milan. Auction all these, she said, setting down her mother's jewelry box, necklaces, rings, bracelets, all priceless. Donate every cent to Santa Maria Monastery. The auction manager wiped his brow. Ms. Rossi, are you sure? These are family heirlooms, one of a kind. I'm sure, Sophia sat by the window. They only remind me of pain. Better to give them to someone who needs them. The manager tried to argue, but her gaze stopped him. Arrange it quickly, she said. I never want to see them again. The butler called as she left. Madam, Mr. Custis at the villa. He says he won't leave until you come back. Let him wait. She hung up, hailing a taxi to Santa Maria Monastery. The monastery gate was plain, gentians blooming blue in the sun. Sister Maria met her, holding an enamel cup. Ms. Rossi, the children are thrilled with the winery. They have hot milk every day now. Sophia took the cup, a child's doodled smile on its side. I want to stay here a few days, she said. Is that okay? Sister Maria nodded, leading her to a guest room simple, with a bed, desk, and chair, the window overlooking a vineyard just like her mother's. Rest first, Sister Maria said. I'll call you for dinner. Sophia said, placing Marcus's cufflink on the desk. The L glowed in the sun. She thought of him saying Lillian loved gentians, and there they were, by the gate. Maybe it was fate. After all this, she found peace. At dinner, she met the orphans. A little girl handed her a lopsided clay salt shaker. Sister, I made this for you. It had Sophia carved on it. Sophia held it, warmth spreading more precious than any jewel. That night, she sat in the courtyard, staring at stars. Sister Maria joined her. Mr. Hoffman comes often, bringing books and snacks, she said. His sister Lillian lived here. He loves this place. Sophia looked at the gentians. He said Lillian loved these. They bloom 8 months in snowstorm. Sister Maria nodded. Just like you. After everything, you still choose kindness. In the days that followed, Sophia helped at the monastery teaching kids to read, playing games, cooking with nuns. No couture, no jewels, no man, and she was happier. No more worrying about cheating, no more counting assets, no more pretending to be strong. On the 5th morning, she asked Sister Maria to cut her hair. Are you sure? Sister Maria held scissors, eyeing her long locks. You had this hair 10 years. Since Pierre first said it looked like mink, Sophia stared at her reflection. Now I want to be myself, not someone's mink. Scissors snipped. Chestnut hair fell, revealing a scar behind her ear from Hans throwing a champagne flute. She touched it. No pain. Shorter, she said, as short as possible. When it was done, she looked in the mirror. Short hair, calm eyes. This was the real Sophia, not a wife, not a trophy. The butler called, excited. Madam, Corriere della Sera ran the jewelry auction story. Everyone's praising you. Good, Sophia smiled. I don't care what they say. As long as the kids are happy. Hanging up, she saw Marcus in the courtyard, holding an alpine wildflower guide. You're here, she said, surprised. Marcus held up the book. For the kids has gentian facts. He looked at her hair, smiling. It suits you. Sophia touched it. Shy, really? I was worried. Very, Marcus said, more alive. He pulled a brown paper bag from his bag. My nephew made gingerbread. I brought some. Inside were lopsided gingerbread men, frosted messily. Thank you, Sophia said. The kids will love it. They sat on a bench, talking about the orphanage, gentians, their pasts. It was easy, no pretense, no guards. He knew her history, didn't judge. He saw her weakness, didn't exploit it. I might stay here a while, Sophia said suddenly, maybe become a nun. Marcus paused, then nodded. Whatever you decide, I support you. He pulled out a pocket watch, opening it. Photos inside. Lillian and Sophia teaching kids to read. I took this last time. It felt warm. Sophia's eyes watered. Thank you, she said, for making me see real warmth isn't bought with money. Marcus took her hand. Her palm still bore the cufflinks mark. His had calluses from working the land. Warmth seeped in. You found your way home, he said. Gentians swayed in the wind, blue like stars. Sophia leaned on Marcus's shoulder, watching clouds drift. The betrayal, the pain, none of it mattered now. She found her peace, a warmth no one could steal. Later, people asked if she regretted giving up her fortune. She smiled. I gave up what never belonged to me. What I gained, happiness money can't buy. Like the gentian blooming in snow, as long as her roots were strong, she bloomed, beautiful and free.